guys? The gods of iron are fired up. They're sending a tsunami or a hurricane my way because maybe I didn't do a good job explaining my last video, and it's making everyone upset. Even the gods of iron are upset. So I'm making this video to clarify what I'm saying because I'm getting a ton of questions. They're the same questions over and over again, and they revolve around the same questions. It's all the same theme that's coming up in every single question. So let me clarify. Are Crock Rows bad? They're not bad. They're just not going to be as effective, especially in carryover to strength, than doing a hip hinge style row. So my whole point with the last video was the 80-20 principle. 80% of your results comes from 20% of what you do in the gym. So if you're doing deadlifts, you're doing bent over rows following your deadlifts, or pendulum rows, and then you're doing hammer strength rows, and then you're doing like a high style T-bar row or something along those lines. You're probably getting 80% of your results from doing the deadlifts and the bent over rows. The other stuff is not doing a whole lot. You know what it's doing? It's fatiguing your entire system. It's making it harder for you to recover and hit bigger and better weights the next day. Which is why a lot of people are like, oh, I'm so shot, I'm so sore, and they need an entire week to come back to their training session, and they don't feel any stronger. It's because there's just too much fatigue because they're doing too many things. It's poor exercise selection. So, 80-20 principle. Now let me tell you the bad 20% and then the good 80%. Right? I'm going to do this. I'm going to make it crystal clear so that you guys understand what I'm talking about, so that I stop getting those comments in that previous video. All right, let's make this one part 2. A bad selection of things to choose that will have very little carryover to gains, especially very little carryover to strength gains. Hammer strength rows, right? The one that I owned, for instance, I owned a unilateral hammer strength row, and I pulled over 500 pounds per arm. Zero carryover to my deadlifts. You see the hammer strength high rows, the hammer strength low rows. Don't do those. Those are stupid. Unless you want to just get a pump going or get some blood flow or maybe get warmed up before you actually do something important, then sure. But don't expect to get any results from those things. Okay, dumbbell bench rows. The bench rows I'm talking about, you know, you see them, they're the most common ones in the gym. I don't have a bench, I have this pink little chair, but you know where people post a knee and they post an arm, right? They're doing these rows, right? They're not bad. They're working your lats, they're working your rear delts and your biceps, but why would you do that when you can simply not post and do the exact same row while working your hamstrings, your glutes, your lower back, your calves, your abdominals. You're getting a whole better systemic effect. You're getting more bang for your buck with more, well, you're not going the extra mile in terms of fatigue, right? You're going to have more carryover, and it's not going to fatigue you as much as on the bench or doing a crock roll, for instance, where you got 1,000 pounds. Right? And it's not to say crock rows are bad either. Some people are saying, well, they're good for your grip. Sure, they're good for your grip. If that's what you're going to utilize them for, then great. But don't expect to see improvements in your deadlifts from doing crock rows. And that's the reason that I did them a few years ago, was because I read all this stuff like, but if you're having trouble with the lockout, try these crock rows. A big, thick, strong upper back will make that lockout portion of your deadlift smooth as butter. When the fact is, really, most people don't have trouble with their lockout, it's they lack the leg drive, so their form breaks down as they get to their lockout, and they're in such a bad biomechanical position that they can't lock it out. It's not their lats, their traps, it's that they lack the quad strength, the leg drive, the hamstring strength. Their form breaks down. So if they're doing a deadlift, right, here, and this happens, this has nothing to do with, oh, I have such giant horsely traps and lats, I'm pulling, right? You just need to get stronger where you can maintain this position. Stronger lower body. So that's a big misconception, and I fell in that trap as well. So that's nobody's fault, it's just experience that will prove that time and time again. Okay, T-bar rows. Somebody asked if T-bar rows are good. T-bar rows are good if you are hinged. If you're upright, like I was when I did them a long time ago, right here, they're going to do virtually nothing for you. Zero carryover to your deadlift. Again, they'll stimulate your upper back musculature, but you could also just hinge a bit more, stimulate your upper back musculature, work your low back, glutes, your hamstrings, your calves as well, your core strength, get that growth and get more strength gains. Somebody asked about seal rows. Yes, seal rows are strict. They're basically isolating your lats, your rhomboids, right? Your mid-load traps. The only reason I say to do a seal row is if you're injured or you don't know how to pull and someone's coaching you and they're like, okay, lay on this bench and pull. Okay, do you feel like retracting your shoulder blades? Pulling with your back. Because once you know how to row, why would you do a seal row versus doing a strict barbell row? It's exactly the same thing. Well, a seal row, make sure you keep it strict. Well, then just keep it strict, right? You don't have to cheat. Then just stay strict when you do it. Or do a pendulum row, right? A strict pendulum row. That's the exact same thing. And then other people, we're talking about things that we see people do in the gym, right? People post here, they do dumbbell rows here, they do them on the bench, they'll post right here. I've been in plenty of gyms. I see what people do for back training. Why would you post? Again, you can do the exact same thing without posting and work the entire body. So that goes to the main theme that people keep asking me. What about Pete Rubich style rows? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. You're in a hip hinge, right? You're using your entire body, so it's like a cheap barbell row. But nonetheless, you're in a hip hinge. You're using your legs, your core. Taylor Woolham, exact same thing, right? So like an RDL into his pull, or like a pause. He's in this position. His whole body's working. Bent over row, duh, same thing. Yes, you're using your core, you're using your posterior chain. You can do it with dumbbells, right? You can do what I was saying, single arm dumbbell, doubles, whatever it may be. And then, like I said, a T-bar row, as long as you're hip hinged. This is the position, guys. If somebody's here and they're doing their rows, it's good. Ed Cohn, P. Rubich, Kaler, they all do it for a reason. I'm just starting to realize it. My eyes are open. All that BS about and strengthen your upper back and your deadlift will go through the roof. No, that's BS. Yeah, a strong back is very important. Yes, and somebody else kept saying, well, I don't care about my deadlift, I just want a thick, juicy back. Guys, if you're natural, you gotta get strong to get thick and juicy. That's the way it works. Don't expect to be Phil Heath and just do machines and get jacked and juicy and thick and have an impressive physique if you're natural. It doesn't work that way. You gotta move some iron. So even if you don't care about deadlifts, even if you have back injuries, whatever it may be, then just go lighter, get overall stronger, and you're gonna make better gains because the stuff that gives you gains is the stuff that works your entire body anyways. Overhead press, bent over rows, deadlifts, even like a cheat style barbell curl. You're working your upper back, right? Your core is engaged as well. It's a big movement. The little stuff does very little. That's part of the 20%. That doesn't do anything, really. It's just the icing on the cake for days that you're fatigued or you're sore, you don't feel like working out, but you always should do something. So that's that. Hope that explained it for you guys. I recorded this video before this video, but the camera wasn't even recording the whole time. I'm sweating! So, please, gods of thunder! Stop raining, and please let this video record, actually.